Hey guys, so Atlas Invasion has begun, and if you haven't heard about this event or haven't decided if you want to play it or not, I want to talk briefly about this event, why you should play it, why it could be interesting, and provide you with like a build, one of the effective builds for this event. And the build that I'm doing is basically Popcorn SRS with minute instability, and it just works amazingly well. Now, if you haven't heard about this event I believe lasts for, maybe 10 days. It is Voided League, and every zone will have 5 invading bosses. Those invading bosses can be all the bosses that can be witnessed by Maven. So, Adziri, Shaper's Guardians, Elder's Guardians, Breach Lords, and all the typical map bosses can be in any zone, including Labyrinth. I'm not too sure about Delve and Temple, but there was none in Highs, but you can meet them in Labyrinth. And each boss is guaranteed to drop at least one unique item, but from my experience it's usually 2 or 3 unique items. On average I guess it's like 2. So to start off, my experience while starting off, found Innocence, decided to skip it. It was too difficult, decided to skip it. Went to the Tidal Island, killed the first invading boss, it drops Tabula. Kill the second one, drops Goldrim. So my league start is basically done. I got my leveling unique items, Tabula and and Goldrim. The first difficulty was getting through the first couple bosses, but after like level 4, level 5, it's almost like an Exile. After I reach Act 4, it suddenly became super easy. I don't know what's up with the scaling. I kind of expected it to be harder. I wanted it to be harder. I still want it to be harder. And I assume it's gonna become much harder once you get into maps and once you go past the typical level of those bosses. Like if you fight, let's say, one of the Breach Lords in like tier 16 map, is gonna be much harder than it would be normally, because normally it would be, let's say, level 75 only, but now it would be like 82 or something like that. So I assume it's gonna be harder. And the amount of loots that you get is insane. The amount of uniques is insane. I already got 9 Tabulas, I believe. Yeah, I already got 9 Tabulas, trying to corrupt them for +2. And I'm level 63. The amount of uniques that you are getting is kind of insane. And I wouldn't be surprised if people would actually be getting Mage Blood and Headhunters quite frequently. The league is voided. Nothing that you're gonna get is gonna be transferred anywhere. It's just all gonna be deleted. So there's no risk of like ruining the market for anyone. The Scourge itself is not currently active. I don't know why they decided to not include Scourge, but maybe that's good. Scourge is already boring. Also, if you haven't heard, if you log into game and open shop and then open your microtransaction, you are gonna receive 1 free mystery box just for checking the shop. It's the Christmas special. I'm not sure when it's ending. Maybe it's just for 1 day, but if you haven't logged in, just log in and get your free mystery box. And if you're playing this event, all you have to do is reach level 50 to get another free mystery box guaranteed. And if you go past that, reach higher levels, you get a chance to win extra MTXs. I still have yet to win anything from those extra chances. And I think the most fun with this Atlas Invasion is going through 10 acts and finding a bunch of bosses stacked into a single like a location, and all of them said is very squishy, very weak, and don't really add any challenge. Sometimes I can't even see those bosses before they die. Just release SRS, we fly, I move, and then, oh, boss is dead. Okay, I guess I'm gonna pick up loot. By the way, bosses do not drop their dedicated loot. Like, Elder is not gonna drop Watcher Size, which a bit sad, but also whatever. It's just Watcher Size. Then I guess Breach Lords are not gonna drop their Breach items. I don't know why we decided to do that, but it's not like you can target farm Elders for the Watcher Size. And even if you could, it's Voided League, so why not? I don't know why they disabled that. So about this build that I'm doing is just, I guess, typical Popcorn SRS build. Minute instability using Infernal Legion, and if you can get Tabukai Amulet, which I don't know where it drops. I think it's used to be league specific, I'm not too sure. I bought it for 4 years, there were a couple more for 5 and 6 years, so it's not too expensive at the start. It's not really mandatory, but it does definitely help degen minions faster. And I do have 2 golems. Actually, I decided to go with Stone Golem and Chaos Golem and even get the Golem Mastery, make them a bit tankier and pick up the Golem Mastery to increase minion life even more, but reduce their life recovery rate. And yeah, right from the start, you basically get Tabula early on. You don't even necessarily need Tabula early on. You can... I wouldn't recommend rushing for minion stability. I tried minion stability at the start. It didn't really do all that much until I put on Infernal Legion. But even then, it took a couple more levels, more than a couple more levels to start scaling their life more until it became more effective. So maybe don't rush for that. At the start, I just was using Summon Raging Spirits linked with Summon Phantasms, which was actually, I think, a good idea. Summon Phantasms, then Combustion, like other lighting damage, whatever you can use early on that would benefit both Phantasms and SRS. And it was working very well at the start. It wasn't the fastest experience, but it was like a ramp-up time. Once we started hitting enemies, start summoning Phantasms, those Phantasms started adding up their own damage, and it was working very well against those bosses early on. But later, once you switch into minion stability and the Infernal Legion with Unleash, it feels so good. And the clear speed is amazing, the single target is amazing. And to my surprise, it's not just the invading bosses that die very quickly, although they do have less HP than normal map bosses, or not map bosses, but zone bosses, or even some rares. But even rares and those map bosses still die very fast with this. So this would work very well for League Start in general. You don't even need Tabula, and it doesn't require any special items. I didn't even plan, by the way, in video description I will add Path of Building import code for this kind of starter item. I only have one wand, it doesn't even need to be Convoking Wand, just plus 1 fire and some minute damage. And then Tavokai Amulet. And that alone should be enough for you to start mapping and retail maps probably. But this isn't very high damage, you definitely would want to go over 200k average hit damage per minute stability, and you can definitely reach that without too much issues. Like you see, I have like no items. Now for the auras are not affecting the minions when they explode, so if you're gonna be using auras, you're gonna be using auras for yourself, and then you want to debuff enemies, so like a Curse, Exposure, Skitter Boss for Shock. Infernal Legion, by the way, alone is not really gonna be doing much damage. Its damage is very small compared to the minion instability explosion damage. By the way, the passive skill tree that you're gonna see is not really min-maxed. You're definitely gonna want to refund like the starting points. At the start it's, I think, worth taking these nodes, but later on you're gonna want to like refund. I'm not sure if it's better to go through here or maybe through here. The passive skill tree looks weird, but I am going for the golem nodes, like I said, getting some recoup nodes. I'm also gonna be using, well, I am using Determination and later Defiance or Banner, so I should have pretty decent amount of armor. And Chaos Golem and Stone Golem is gonna be remaining like a defensive layer. I will be taking the Glancing Blows, I think, but I'm not really focusing on the block. We'll see how many points I have left. Maybe I will take these. But I will also be trying Divine Shield. Not sure how worth it is, but it's gonna add something. Why not? It's just like 2 passive points. I'm not taking like big nodes that increase minion regen or their resistances. I don't want those because that would mean the Summon Raging Spirits would explode slower, and you don't want that. You want them to explode basically as fast as possible, not like instantly. You want them to be able to travel to enemies. The other items are just typical, whatever you can get to cover your resistances and as much life as possible early on. The Siege Breaker belt is not needed. It just, I found it, tried using it, needed strength, cannot really replace it right now. Also, sorry for the background noise. There seemed to be some kind of Christmas or something happening. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to drag this video too long. Also, I've been a bit late, been delayed with and absent on YouTube. I had very bad migraine, a couple days spent in bed, and since that I am kind of dizzy all the time. I don't know what's up, but maybe I need to have a second migraine to cancel the first migraine. So I'm very sidetracked. Like I lost all the interest in the game except for this event. This brought me back, but I hate taking breaks. Every time I'm forced to take a break, like for 2 or 3 days, I just get sidetracked, and it's very hard for me to return to my usual pace. After New Year's, I'll probably not really be doing a lot of Path of Exile content. I'm gonna try to figure out what else to do, because I also don't really want to do now what's unique about this unique, since we are getting closer to the new league, and probably gonna see some reworks on older uniques, so it's hard to guess which uniques are not going to be touched by the Nevhammer or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.